Hey guys, welcome back. In this video, I'm gonna introduce you to calculus and I'm also gonna show you how to find the gradient of a curve. So in a straight line, we have a gradient and we can find the gradient of a straight line by divide the rise by the run. The gradient is positive if y increases and x increases at the same time. The gradient would be negative if y decreases as x increases. A gradient is zero if the line is horizontal, and there will be no gradient if the line is vertical. So the gradient is constant in a straight line. But there's also gradient in a curve, which also measures of the rate of changes of y with respect to the changing x. However, unlike the gradient on a straight line, the gradient of a curve is not constant. Let's consider this parabola. As we can see in this part of the parabola, there's a negative gradient. But in this part, the gradient became positive since it's going up. So that's why a gradient of a curve is not constant. So if we draw a tangent on a curve, which is based on a point, if in this tangent the gradient is bigger than zero, then the curve is increasing. But if the gradient in this part is negative, then the curve is decreasing. Besides that, if in a point where the gradient equals to zero, which is a horizontal line, then the curve is stationary. Which we can use plus, minus, and S to mark. For instance, in this case, this part is decreasing, this part is increasing, and in this point, it is stationary. Okay, if we draw a parabola accurately and draw the tangent to its parabola by points where x equals to 1, x equals to 2, x equals to 3, and so on, we will get each point a gradient. And if I draw a table value, so if we calculated the gradient of the tangent of the parabola, we'll get each point a gradient. So although the gradient of each point are not the same, but the rate of change between these points are the same. So if I draw a graph and let the x-axis be x and the y-axis be the gradient, we'll see that it became a linear function based on the table. So this is what we called a gradient function or a derivative function. We use fx to represent that. So a derivative function is basically the gradient of the tangent to the function at each point on the curve. Okay, that's all for today. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.